And a very good morning to you. It is Friday morning, the 11th of March, and the year 2022. And this is your friend, Angus Buchan, with a thought for the day. If we go to the Gospel of Matthew chapter 16 and verse 26. Matthew 16 and verse 26. And the word of God says, "For what profit is it to a man if he gains the whole world and loses his soul? Or what will a man give in exchange for his soul?" Folks, those are stirring words. And then we go to Luke chapter 12 and verse 20. "But God said to him, 'Fool, this night your soul will be required of you. Then whose will those things be which you have provided?'" Remember the story of the farmer who had a bountiful crop? He said, "I'll pull down my barns and I'll build greater ones." And then he says, "I'll eat, drink, and be merry." The Lord said, "Tonight your soul will be required of you." Mark chapter 8 verse 36. "What does it profit a man if he gains the whole world and he loses his soul?" I heard a story of an old businessman who was extremely successful, very, very wealthy. And somebody came to visit him and sat in his beautiful office and said, "You have done so well." And the old businessman's eyes filled with tears, and he said, "Yes." He said, "I've used all my strength to build up this gigantic business. And now I'm using my money to try and buy back my health. And it's not working." I want to say to you today, we need to keep our priorities in order. I knew an old gentleman who worked his whole life to build his dream home that he was going to retire in. He eventually retired. He moved to that beautiful home. And then I had a very sad report that he had contracted cancer and that he only had a few weeks to live. And I went to visit the old gentleman, and he was sitting on the veranda of his magnificent home. And I didn't know what to say. He was a lovely old man. And I said to him, "What a beautiful home you have built for yourself." Tears filled his eyes. And he said, "Yes, but for what?" He never lived in that house longer than a couple of months, and he died. You know, in the 1600s, a group of clergymen, professors, got together of theology, and they waited on God to find out what God's purpose for man is on earth. And they came to the conclusion, very simple. Number one, the purpose of man is to glorify God. And number two is to enjoy him forever. I want to say to you today, are you doing that? Because the wisest man who ever lived, yes, that's right, Solomon, he said very clearly in the back of the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 12 and verse 13, "Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear God and keep his commandments, for this is man's all." Jesus bless you as you spend time with your friend today. Goodbye.